Hello and welcome to Sketch Together. My name is Pablo Stanley and this is Design Digest, where we share design-related news, tools, apps, and other cool stuff. The best new tool this week is Freehand from InVision. Freehand is an entirely new way to collaborate. You can use it for wireframing, planning, design presentations, feedback, and even for drawing silly doodles. Stephen Olmstead, VP of Design Partnerships at InVision, is here to tell us a little bit more about it.
Hey Pablo, thanks for having me on. I'd love to tell you a little bit about Freehand. So what is Freehand? Freehand's a super flexible canvas that is designed to capture creative ideas as quickly as possible. You can think of it kind of as a digital whiteboard on steroids. And we built it because we've been seeing the need for something like this for quite some time. There's a number of existing mediums that you can use for capturing ideas, but they kind of can fall into two buckets that make them difficult to use. Either one, they're often too complex or difficult to pick up and learn, meaning that any of the stakeholders that you need to collaborate with are often left with this steep learning curve in order for it to be useful, or the solutions are often not digitally native. So we started with that in mind, and we purposely built something that was meaningfully constrained so that it's simple and easy to pick up. At the same time, we also wanted to make this scalable. So if you are a power user and you're used to using Sketch or you're used to using Photoshop, a lot of the hotkeys are going to be familiar to you. And we've got some fun little add-ons that are pretty powerful once you know how to use them. One of those add-ons is shape detection. So you'll notice in the spirit of meaningful constraints, we only have one drawing tool in Freehand. We don't have any shape tools or anything like that. We just have one drawing tool. However, that drawing tool, if you hold Option and start to draw with it, you can easily create rectangular shapes, circles, straight lines, all things that you would find in storyboards and wireframes and early sketch ideas that you would need to draw very frequently. And that keeps you from tool switching and context switching and sticking just to the flow of drawing and getting your ideas out. Some of the ways that we've been seeing it used is wireframing. I mean, honestly, we use it for all of our wireframing here internally because these start as nice documents that we can share with anybody on the team. And you can either start out as one designer working on a document, or you could start out with the entire team in one document. If you're starting just by yourself, you can share it later with the team and get feedback. Other ways we see it being used is for user flows and storyboarding. We see people using it for design feedback. A lot of people are using this for red lines on their designs, often working with like a development team or a QA team. Teams are using it for design stand-ups and critiques that you can do live. You can also leverage the Craft Freehand plugin to bring all of your artboards from either Sketch or Photoshop into this URL. And once you've got the URL, you can share it with anybody and they can jump right in and start marking it up right away. We've also seen some really fun digital sketches, and there's a host of other use cases that we're seeing pop up every day as people continue to use this. So we're really excited about it. I would love any feedback that you have. So please feel free to send it my way, and thanks for the time.
Bohemian Coding launched an update to Sketch, the Sketch 46. In this update, you can now invite people to view your documents via a Sketch Cloud privately. Text alignment got an upgrade too. Text layers can now be aligned vertically within their adjustable bounding box. You can align to the top, middle, or bottom. There are over 20 more improvements and fixes. Naturally, as with any other Sketch update, you might find some bugs, and you will want to see if your favorite plugins are compatible with the new version, so be careful before updating. Framer just released an interactive UI kit, Fiber UI. This kit is an excellent way to start your next project. Each element has been designed to work independently or as one seamless flow. It includes a full prototype with customizable components. You have an onboarding walkthrough, a like animation, a drop-down, toggles, and a timeline with scrolling. Every file comes with instructions, and all elements are hooked up to interactions in the code. You can customize the text, animation values, colors, and images. Now, a cool resource for you, Lists. Lists is a gallery of real content text ready to populate your mockups and build realistic layouts. It contains tons of different data types, like addresses from multiple countries, Bitcoin accounts, book titles and authors, type of cars, languages, objects, phobias, to-do lists, usernames, you name it. You just copy and paste the data you need and then use it on your design. I recommend combining it with the data plugin from Craft to save your favorite list and access them anytime you want. I want to tell you about a project that I find super cool, Laboratoria. Laboratoria is a coding school that identifies young women in Latin America with high potential despite their economic limitations. Gabriela Rocha, partner and VP of Growth, answer a couple of questions about Laboratoria.
Hi, my name is Gabriela Rocha, and I'm here to tell you guys about Laboratoria. So Laboratoria is a social enterprise that works to empower young women from low-income backgrounds in Latin America by providing them access to a successful career in tech. We do so by identifying strong, amazing, extremely talented young women who, unfortunately, because of they were born into low-income backgrounds, they don't have access to quality education, which keeps them in this vicious cycle of low-skilled, low-paying work throughout their lives. We identify them, we train them in front-end web development, specifically in JavaScript, for 6 months in an intensive boot camp. And then after 6 months, they're sort of ready to launch their career in tech. We have, hundreds of companies in Latin America and the US that look to source their talent, their front-end web development in Laboratoria. So our students start working almost immediately after graduating from our 6-month program. Why did we start Laboratoria? Because we wanted to bridge this gap that exists between the huge opportunity that the tech sector presents with its huge growth and incredible job opportunities, and this situation in Latin America where there are millions of youth that are left out of quality opportunities simply because they don't have access to quality education. Why is it important to learn to code? It's extremely important to learn to code. Basically, it teaches you how to think. It's a new language. It's the language of the future. And it's going to be extremely useful, not just for quality job opportunities in the future, but because it teaches you important problem-solving skills and a different way of approaching a problem. So the women who go through our program are the most incredible, some of the most incredible, inspirational women I've ever met. They go above and beyond to overcome immense obstacles in their lives, both personal and professional. And they come into Laboratoria, some of them very nervous, some of them very curious, some of them very scared, because it's an intense program. They're not sure what they're gonna be confronted with. And to me, one of the most amazing transformational moments of the program is when they start falling in love with code.
Now, a fun fact. Did you know that Pablo Picasso was a designer too? Pablo Picasso, one of the most influential artists of the 20th century, flirted a bit with graphic design. Most of his designs were exhibition posters for his own shows, and he also created some book and magazine covers. His designs had a playful and innocent approach, in which he included recurrent themes from his paintings and sculptures, like bulls, doves, goats, and human figures. What I found the most interesting is his fun and natural approach to typography. The portfolio of the week comes from Richard Gazdik. Richard is a Budapest-based digital designer and front-end developer. Something fun about this portfolio is that Richard challenged himself to finish it in 21 days. In an email, I asked him why, and he responded, "I did it because I'm one of those guys who needs a pressure to make relevant quality stuff." For the development of the portfolio, Richard followed Brad Frost's atomic design system. He starts presenting his works with atoms like typography, colors, and icons, and then he chose larger modules and molecules. Richard also shared this advice: dare enough to share your work even if it's half-baked. That's it for this week. If you have a suggestion on what we should cover on our next episode, please leave a comment with a link. Also, it would be really cool if you share this video with other designers. Thank you so much. See you next time.